But once it get close to that time, you know what I mean, it's time to go to work, you know? And when we go to work, y'all know what comes after that.
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're gonna do the same thing with Shakur.
This is a fight that I've been kind of waiting for my entire life. I didn't have to make this fight. This fight, I could have just stayed at 135 pounds, sat comfortable at 35. I don't feel like no fighter at 135 can beat me. I made this fight happen because I know Teo is one of the guys at 140.
Terence Crawford loses patience at the press conference, clashing with Teofimo Lopez Sr. as he issues a fierce warning saying Shakur will seriously hurt his son inside the ring.
Every last one of them, stump a mud hole in their ass and he gonna be next. Watch.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. confidently claims his team has studied Shakur, closely believing they have identified several clear weaknesses in his fighting style.
We do this for the fans, you know. Ever since my son started this.
Terence Crawford warns them confidently, saying Shakur is extremely difficult to beat because of his elite skills, ring intelligence, calm composure, and ability to control fights effortlessly.
It's a work of art. You know, the sky is the limit with Shakur. You know, he got the boxing skills and the ability to, you know, do whatever he wants in the ring. You know, and it's going to be very hard to beat Shakur, you know, with the skills that he possesses and the smarts that he has, you know, and given the opportunity, I think he can pose a great threat to everybody in the division, you know, and be the last man standing given the opportunity.
Teofimo Lopez Sr. says they will not let Shakur get comfortable in the ring, predicting he will lose just like Lomachenko and other opponents Teofimo has beaten before fight night.
It'll be a great fight. I want everybody to come and see it. If you can't, you know, just watch it on TV.
You've had to come up with some good game plans over the years to beat some great fighters, Lomachenko, Taylor, among them. How difficult is this man, Shakur Stevenson, to prepare for?
Well, I see their weakness. That's what I do. You know, we broke the code with with Loma that nobody had ever done. You know, we didn't let him get comfortable in there. You saw that. You know, within like 8 rounds, he didn't know what to do. I did the same thing with Josh Taylor, and we're going to do the same thing with Shakur.
At the press conference, Shakur gets heated, confronting Teofimo Sr. and insisting he has no right to fight on behalf of his son.
You're out of your mind.
Okay.
My son fought without no air. My son fought without no air against Cambosis.
You can't fight for your son. You can't fight for your son.
You gonna tell me, man? Come on.
You can't fight for your son.
I bet you gonna quit.
Terence Crawford trains regularly with Shakur Stevenson, sharpening skills, building strategy, and preparing intensely together ahead of their highly anticipated fight.
I almost missed that one. There it go. 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 God. Here it go, bro. He trying to run me into the wall. Y'all didn't see that? He's trying. Man, I performed. You know that? I told y'all what I was gonna do. I was gonna come out here and beat his ass every game. And look, he's thinking about saying, let's play again.
Shakur Music remains fully focused on becoming a champion, diligently following his game plan, refining every skill and staying disciplined to ensure he performs at his absolute best in the ring.
Just going to show you a couple of moments here in round 1 that really stood out to me where Teofimo Lopez was being exceptionally aggressive. So you can see with this lead hook here that George Kambosos lands as a counterpunch. It's a very, very key shot for anyone who is facing Teofimo Lopez. And I'm just going to break it down for you now. So The thing about Teofimo Lopez is, because he can be very lungy.
Analyst Henry explains that in Teofimo Lopez's fight against George Kambosos Jr., a clear weakness in his style emerged. While Lopez's low lead hand can be effective for setting up jabs and keeping opponents off balance, it becomes a liability when he fights aggressively. Kambosos quickly capitalized on this, allowing Lopez to come forward and land powerful counter-punches with precise timing.
Never expect someone to really attack you from that range in boxing, but he does. And the thing about the way he does this is there's usually a bit of a tell. So watch here. What he does is he takes a step first to load that front foot, which then permits the pendulum step. It allows him to shuffle in, and I'll show you what I mean by that as you're watching here. Let me just undo that. 2 small arrows is what I'm looking for. So watch here. Leans on that front foot, and then he goes with the pendulum. Back foot in, lead foot forward, and he lands in this position here. Now you can see the problem with this position here is that his balance is going to be hard to get because his feet are so wide and his hands are low. So whilst his chin is tucked in, that's good. His hands are low. And as he throws, Kambosos has that lead hand ready and waiting. Watch what happens here. He quickly leans back, he fires that check left hook, and he gets out. Beautiful work. Now, the other moment that we need to see from this one is probably the most dramatic moment of his career, where he landed an absolutely huge counter overhand right. And it definitely shocked Teofimo Lopez. It was what caused all the panic in the corner. I don't think he thought he could get.
Henry highlights a key moment in round 1 where Campbell's lead hook connects perfectly as a counter, showing the danger of Lopez's lunging attacks. Lopez often steps first to load his front foot, then shuffles in with a pendulum step, creating wide stances and low hands. Although his chin is tucked, this position compromises balance and leaves him open. Kambosos exploits it beautifully, firing a checking left hook, escaping, and later landing a dramatic overhand right, shaking Lopez and causing panic in his corner.
Mo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson, that definitely makes sense. Who do you think's gonna win that fight?
I got Shakur for sure. Shakur.
Do you think he wins this comfortably, or do you think it'll be a close fight?
I think he wins it comfortably. Yeah, I think he wins it comfortably. I think Shakur. I think the thing is about Teo is very good athletically, but he's weak-minded. You can see in some fights he's struggling. Teo does struggle. Now he does come up for big fights. Lomachenko, he came up. Josh Taylor, he came up. But a lot of fights, man, he struggles in. He does struggle on a whole lot of fights and stuff. Like, I think he looked good. Yeah, he looked good against Barboza. But like I said, for the most part, Teo does struggle. And I think he struggles mentally with a lot of things. But I think with Shakur, I think Shakur's going to break him. I think maybe the first two or three rounds, it might be a close fight. It might be close. It might be 2-1 or something like that. But then
Regis Prograde believes Shakur Stevenson music has both a mental and technical advantage over Teofimo Lopez. He acknowledges Lopez's impressive athleticism, but emphasizes that talent alone isn't enough at the highest level. According to Prograde, Lopez often struggles with consistency, showing flashes of brilliance, but failing to maintain focus throughout a fight. In contrast, Stevenson approaches every bout with a clear strategy, patience, and discipline, making him difficult to outmaneuver. Progra also highlights Stevenson's mental strength, noting that he stays calm under pressure, adapts quickly to opponents' tactics, and avoids unnecessary risks. Lopez, on the other hand, can become frustrated or over-aggressive, which opens him to counters and mistakes. Progra sees this combination of tactical awareness, composure, and technical music skill as giving Stevenson a significant edge, suggesting that while Lopez has physical tools, Stevenson's fight IQ and mental resilience could be decisive in determining the outcome.
After that, I feel like Shakur is probably going to start stepping up, and Teo's going to try to hit him, and it's not going to work. And then Shakur might start. The thing about Shakur is a very good, a real good counterpuncher, really sharp, real sharp with the counterpunch. He sneaks those punches in, and that's the ones that hurt the most when he just sneaking them in when you're not supposed to hit him. So I definitely feel like, I feel like Shakur is going to beat him comfortably. Not a knockout, but comfortable 12 rounds for sure.
Have you sparred Lopez before?
I never sparred Teo, no, never sparred.
Michael Conland describes the fight between Teofimo Lopez and Shakur Stevenson as one of the most exciting matchups possible in boxing today. On paper, it promises a clash of two exceptionally skilled fighters, each bringing unique strengths to the ring. Conland points out that both Lopez and Stevenson have demonstrated elite talent, sharp technique, and the ability to execute under pressure, making this fight particularly intriguing for fans and analysts alike. He emphasizes that while Stevenson is known for his tactical intelligence and adaptability, Lopez offers explosive power and athleticism, creating a fascinating contrast in styles. Conland believes this combination could lead to a highly competitive, unpredictable fight that tests both fighters' skills, resilience, and strategy, making it a must-watch event for boxing enthusiasts worldwide.
if Lopez can make this fight, you know, a lot tougher than expected, you know, and he's going to have to exchange with Shakur. You know, he's a fast fighter. We don't know who's the quickest or fastest here. You have to give the speed edge to Shakur. But if Lopez can punch with this fast guy, make him a little bit cautious and a little bit leery of what's coming back, that serves him well. But Teofimo is one of the best conditioned fighters out there. If this fight goes late, you can expect him to be pushing forward round 9, 10, and 11 if it goes late.